Have a quorum present.
Right, thank you so much. Next item, please.
Pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America.
Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States.
Which it stands, one nation.
Thank you so much. Next item, please.
Invocation.
Okay, today we're going to have the introduction of our invocation by Vice Chair Pro Tem Baydoun.
She must still be on emails. Yeah.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good morning, everyone. It gives me an honor and a distinct pleasure to introduce our invocator for this morning's meeting. Father Halim Shukair hails from Beirut, Lebanon. He currently lives in Dearborn, where he is an assistant priest at Christ Episcopal Church and priest in charge for Mother of the Savior Church in Dearborn. Father Halim holds a master's in divinity from Virginia Theological Seminary in Alexandria, Virginia, and is currently pursuing a doctorate in ministry development. Before entering the seminary, Father Halim worked at the American University of Beirut as a grants and contracts officer. He holds a bachelor's in business marketing from the Lebanese American University in Beirut and a diploma in theology from the Near East School of Theology in Beirut. Father Halim is interested in interfaith dialogue and contemplative life. His hobbies include swimming, hiking, and acting. Father Halim.
Thank you. Good morning. Let us pray. Gracious and compassionate God, thank you for your many and abundant blessings. Thank you for the ability to be involved in useful work and for the honor of bearing appropriate responsibility. We ask your blessings on the people who have been called to lead the community in which we live and work and play. Grant them the wisdom and courage to know and do what is right and good and true. May they always be guided by the spirit of the community, by the spirit of justice, and by the spirit of love. We pray to you, most loving and giving God. Amen.
Thank you for that beautiful prayer. Next item, please.
Reading, correcting, and approval of the journal.
Vice Chair Palomero.
Move approval.
Their support.
Support.
Moved and supported. Any discussion on the reading, correction, approval of the journal? Hearing none, please vote.
Carries.
Thank you so much. Next item.
Report from the chair.
Thank you. As you all know, 40 years ago, we became a charter county, and our first county executive was Mr. William Lucas, who had also served as sheriff. Unfortunately, he passed away in recent days at the great age of 94. Later on the agenda, we will read a memoriam in honor of his legacy here in Wayne County. But I just wanted to mention that right now at the onset of our meeting, that we will certainly keep his family in our prayers during this difficult time. I want everyone to just realize of what a great gentleman he was and how he was a trailblazer for the government structure that we have right now, being our first county executive. Next item, please.
Unfinished business. There is none listed. We're moving to page 2 of the agenda, offering of all petitions, ordinances, resolutions, and presentations. There are 3 items listed. Item number 1 is a resolution by Commissioner Bell supporting the Wayne County Register of Deeds and the Wayne County Treasurer in their opposition to Michigan House Bills 4729, 4730, 4731, and 4732, and standing up to the corporations that data mine public records for profit while placing the burden on Wayne County taxpayers.
Thank you so much. This resolution came to us from our Register of Deeds and our treasurer, and they are here in the audience. If you could, gentlemen, they'll give a little background on what prompted this resolution and why they think it's so important that we oppose this measure. Gentlemen?
Legislation has already passed the House in Lansing, and it's considered to be House Bill 4729, 4730, 4731. These bills, and House Bill 4732, they are all tie-barred together, so if one fails, they all fail. These particular bills are of great concern to me and, of course, the treasurer. In this case, it's Zillow, which is an extremely large real estate company throughout the nation. They are going and requesting at a very, very low cost a copy of all our recorded deeds, mortgages, and at that time they would then be able to resell them. And if we cannot provide the documents in the format that they desire, we have to set up the equipment and the staff to provide it for them in the mean that they require. Finances alone will cost to my office nearly $1.8 million, let alone the cost of adding new staff and equipment to provide the necessary machinery if it's demanded. So I implore you to oppose these bills in form of a resolution that my counterpart, Eric Sabri, the Honorable Treasurer, and I can take to Lansing and give to the Senate and implore that they stop these bills immediately. They are the next step, and my understanding is it's on a fast track. Now I'd like to introduce the Honorable Eric Sabri, Wayne County Treasurer.
Thank you, Register of Deeds, Youngblood. I wanted to just mention again that this is going to cost the treasurer and the Register of Deeds over $1 million. He said $2 million for his office. It'll approximately be, depending on how many records that are requested, it could be at least $1.5 million to $3 million for our office. Not only the cost of doing all the work, but also it takes staff away from other work that we're already short-staffed to do the work that we have to do. So in order for us to do this work, it's free, basically free to this corporation, and they're going to sell the data. It just can't work for us. And this resolution is, most of the reps in Wayne County and in Detroit voted against this bill. But Zillow is lobbying very hard. They are working very hard with all the reps throughout the state. That's how it got passed. Now it's going to the Senate Economic Development Committee. And we have people working, trying to talk to the reps who are on that committee. And we hope that this resolution will have some impact, a strong impact. All the Treasurers Association is against it. The Register of Deeds Association throughout the state is against it. All the major associations, county associations throughout the state are against this bill. And we have to stop it in the Senate. So we ask your support. Thank you.
Thank you. Do you know if the Michigan Association of Counties has weighed in on this?
Yes, they're also opposing it, but I don't know if they had any resolution that was sent to the legislature.
Thank you. I've got Commissioner Marecki first and Commissioner Basham.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Do you know how Zillow gets their information currently? Like, is this a completely different?
They are coming to my office, and we have a contract with Zillow. They sued to have a reduced cost years ago, and there was a mutual agreement made by the county offices and my office. So they are currently getting information from the Register of Deeds. In the past, they have paid $1 per document, and now they want that discounted tremendously to around 10 to 25 cents per document. In the lower court and the Court of Appeals back in 2006, they were denied, and the Register of Deeds Association was awarded $1 per document to be paid by different title companies and now Zillow at the time, and to be true.
So basically, they're getting the information, but they want it pretty much free now.
Yes.
Correct.
Okay, but they can still get that information from you presently.
Yes.
Yeah. They can, same with the treasurer's office. They can still get the information. They just want it for almost nothing.
Okay,
And they also want a maximum on the charge. They want a maximum of $1,500, no matter what they ask for. So this is unreasonable for us.
And at the time that we entered into an agreement from the litigation, we also blocked the ability to resell the document and use it disclosing the grantor and the grantee. This would open that up.
they could do whatever they wanted with the.
They can do whatever they wanted with it, correct?
All right, thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Commissioner Basham.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I noticed that there's 5 of my colleagues that serve in the Michigan legislature. A lot of people aren't aware of, people wanted term limits, so they thought, but we voted on 2,000 to 3,000 items a year. 600 to 800 of them become a public act. We voted on multi-billion-dollar budgets. And before you even get to know who your colleagues are, you're term limited out of the state house. Then if you're lucky enough, a few of us got to serve in the state Senate, so you get to be a little bit effective. But that's a perfect example. This is a perfect example of why I have never, term limits should be at the ballot box your first term regardless, when you can only serve 3 2-year terms in the Michigan legislature and to try to deal with all these complex issues. And quite frankly, the lobbyists have a big role in Lansing, Michigan's capital. So that's why I've always, and I'll support this resolution, but I'm always opposed to implementing term limits in the legislature. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Yes, you're absolutely right. Commissioner Dobb.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So you indicated that this has already passed in the House. Is that correct? Do you have any information on whether it passed along party lines?
Do not.
No. I know that some Democrats voted for it. I can tell you that.
Okay, I'll look it up, but I was just wondering if you knew. Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Okay, thank you. Vice Chair Pro Tem Baydun.
Thank you, Madam Chair. As a real estate broker, I am totally against a lot of the tactics that Zillow has been using over the years. And I totally support the resolution, and I'm against all of these 4 bills. My question, has the Michigan Realtors Association issued any statement on this? Because I know as a lobbyist group, as realtors, we are against many of the business tactics. This is nothing but an attempt to make money, more money for Zillow. The next thing I hear, they're going to start selling insurance also. Has anybody reached out to the Michigan Realtors? If not, I will be more than happy to call the president of Michigan Realtors.
Commissioner, I'm not aware that anybody has reached out to the association. I'd be happy to be with you when you make that call if you like, and I appreciate your support.
Yes, and for the record, for those people out there, you don't need Zillow to sell you a document of your mortgage or the deed. It's all on public records. You can have your agent, your title company, they can, print that immediately. Again, I mean, these are some of the tactics that Zillow has been using over the years, and I'm totally against them, and I support this resolution.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Vice Chair Palomero.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I also fully support the resolution in opposition to these bills. Do you happen to know if the premise of unfunded mandates was raised? Because this appears to be a classic violation of an unfunded mandate being foisted upon a local unit of government.
Yeah, it was raised, the Commissioner, by a couple of reps. And it was at the last minute before it was voted on the floor. It was raised, but basically the votes were there. They already had the votes to pass this bill. When
So
it
they
was
didn't
raised.
care.
They didn't care. They're lobbying very hard. Zillow is. They're working very hard.
Thank you.
Thank you for bringing this to our attention. We want to make sure that we reach out to our state senators because now it's going to the Senate. So we want to make sure that we reach out to our individual state senators to make sure that they are aware of our opposition of this. And hopefully they will stop it in its tracks. So thank you, gentlemen, for bringing this to our attention. Continue to work with us as we work to assist you in this manner.
Thank you very much.
One more question, Commissioner Killeen.
Madam Chair, and I just want to be
Oh,
clear. Thank you, Madam Chair. This information is available
Correct. Yes, it is.
and they want to use government to subsidize their cost
That
for
is
getting
correct.
this. Just for clarity. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. And one more, Commissioner Anderson.
Madam Chair, I just wondered if we shouldn't also ask our two representatives, Chair of the Treasury and Register of Deeds, if they could do something to also apprise the governor of our position also, because then I would hope that she would veto this. But,
Absolutely.
So I think we ought to make sure that we let her know that. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll mail a copy to the governor as well.
Madam Chair, I want to mention also that some of the information that Zillow is asking for is information that we try to protect from the public, the taxpayer's name and address, their status as residential status, whether they own or whether they have 100% PRE or not, all the information that we usually don't disclose to the public. And I think it also, in our letter to you, mentioned that it may open up for fraud as well, because they have all this information. We don't know what they're going to do with it. So that's another concern of ours.
Thank you again. This is a very important issue. Again, a possible unfunded mandate. We'll send this to the senators as well as to the governor and hopefully put a stop to this immediately. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us. Thank you. Okay, is there a motion for this item?
So moved.
Moved and supported. Any further discussion? Commissioner Dobb?
Can we open this for co-sponsors?
Absolutely. After we vote, yes. Okay, so we'll vote on the resolution, then we'll open it up for co-sponsors.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Let me know when the board is open for co-sponsors.
Co-sponsors. Sponsors duly noted.
Thank you so much. Thank you, gentlemen, again for coming to our meeting today. Thank you for that. Next item, please.
Here on item number 2, a resolution by Commissioner Hattis urging the U.S. Department of Labor to abandon its proposed Wagner-Pfizer Act rule change and calling on Governor Gretchen Whitmer and the Michigan Congressional Delegation to support local control by the Workforce Development Boards and notify the U.S. DOL Secretary that such a rule would have an adverse effect on the Michigan one-stop workforce development system.
Mr. Haters.
Thank you, Madam the Chair. We have with us today the CEO of Michigan Workforce, SEGA/SEMCA, Southeast Michigan, to explain exactly the effect of this kind of change in Lansing. So, Mr. Potoniak, please take the podium.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you, Commissioner Hattis, for introducing this resolution. So I am the CEO for SEMCA Michigan Works. We are one of 16 Michigan Works agencies in the state of Michigan, That's the brand name we give to federal workforce boards that function in the state of Michigan. And federal workforce boards exist across every county in the country. What we are asking you to support is a resolution opposing a federal mandate. You just heard that word from the state legislation. In this case, it is a U.S. Department of Labor rule that would mandate that state employees must staff the employment services at our Michigan Works service centers. Those are currently staffed by local staff and have been for our entire existence. And in this case, the federal government is telling the local workforce boards, even though you are supervising this operation and you're responsible for its effectiveness, you must, the state must place employees there in the service centers to operate what is the front of the office, if you will, folks. As if you've ever been to Michigan Works office, the folks that greet you and assist you with your basic employment services would be this staff. Currently, that is close to 400 local employees that are staffing that across the state. In the Semka region, which is out Wayne County and Monroe, we have 52 employees. The state is only in a position with the funds that are available to supply one employee per service center. In our case, we have about 6 employees per service center in the employment services. So it would be a substantial reduction in services and again, loss of local control over the situation.
Do you know where our Michigan federal delegation stands on this issue?
Well, thank you, Madam Chair. Yes, we have been collaborating quite a bit with the Michigan congressional delegation. Debbie Dingell, Congresswoman Dingell, has been supporting us in organizing opposition to the rule. And again, we're seeking resolutions from local organizations to oppose it also.
Okay. Commissioner Basham?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm going to support the resolution, but this gentleman looks vaguely familiar, like a former mayor of the city of Taylor I used to have, and like a former state legislator that I used to represent me. So he does look familiar. I'm not
Indeed.
sure.
Hello, Commissioner. How you doing? My commissioner, by the
Your
way.
commissioner. Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Marecki.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So what, I'm not a big fan of the feds coming over and taking over anything because they screw it up. But I'm wondering what is their advantage? What's an advantage to them to do this?
So the stated reason in the draft rule is that they're trying to provide state unemployment insurance agencies essentially with a backbench to support when there's a high demand for unemployment claims. The irony of that here in Michigan is twofold. One, the Unemployment Insurance Agency, we stepped up the Michigan Work System and helped them assist over 1 million unemployment claimants during the pandemic. So we were there for them. We had 400 of our employees trained in their system to assist them, number one. Number two, when there is high demand for unemployment applications, there's high demand for employment services. So if they're going to reassign those state employees to handle unemployment claims, then they're also reducing the staff that is available to assist individuals in obtaining reemployment. So it would really be, again, a huge deficiency in service.
So are they like predicting unemployment's just going to keep going up and up and up? I mean,
I don't think there's an alignment of a prediction along that line. It just happens periodically, right? Of course, in the Great Recession, it happened. And I can tell you our offices were we had people standing outside in line in the centers looking for employment. And that's what our job. We're the employment service, right? Not the unemployment. So.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Additional questions? Commissioner Hayes?
The resolution open for co-sponsors.
Yes, after we vote, absolutely. All right. All right, Commissioner Hayes, you want to move the resolution?
So move.
Moved and supported. Any further discussion? Hearing none, please vote. Thank you so much for coming and joining us.
Thank you very much, everyone. Yep.
And carries.
Okay, let us know when the board is open for co-sponsors.
I'll open for co-sponsors. Co-sponsors duly noted.
Right, thank you so much. Thank you, Commissioner Hayes, for bringing this to us. Thank you. Next item, please, Madam Clerk.
On item number 3, a resolution by Commissioner Bell declaring June 15th, 2022 as Justice for Janitors Day throughout the county in recognition of the work performed by members of the Service Employees International Union Local 1 and their continuing efforts to build better lives for working families across this county, state, and nation.
Thank you so much. June 15th, as stated, is Justice for Janitors Day. As you all know, while we were not here because of the COVID, we did have janitorial staff making sure that our buildings are clean, and they do that day in and day out, no matter what the situation is out here for the rest of us. They are making sure that all the buildings downtown and throughout our city, state, county are clean. So big Justice for Janitors Day is on June 15th. They will be having several rallies. Hopefully people can attend, but this is a resolution acknowledging and declaring that day, June 15th, Justice for Janitors.
Support.
All right, I guess I moved it and supported by Commissioner Baker McCormick. Any discussion? Hearing none, please vote. Okay, while we're having some technical issues, we'll do a voice vote really quick. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Anyone wish to abstain? Okay,
Motion carries.
thank you. And Commissioner Colleen?
Perhaps you just anticipated with your and.
Yes, co-sponsors. If you would like to be a co-sponsor, raise your hand. We're doing it old school style. That looks like it is.
Sponsors duly noted.
Okay, thank you. All right. Thank you so much. Next item, please.
We're moving to reports from committees. Report A is from the Committee on Economic Development. There are 7 items listed on pages 2 and 3 of the agenda.
Okay, Commissioner Hayes.
Thank you, Madam the Chair. I move to receive and file item 1 to number 6 and approve item 7.
Their support? It's been moved and supported for the Economic Development Report. Any discussion on any of these items? Discussion on any of the items on economic development? Hearing none. Oh, I'm sorry, Commissioner Colleen.
Yeah, thank you, Madam Chair. On the last item, which I believe is number 6.
Number 7?
7, that's right. 6, receive and file. I want someone to explain the dynamics here. That, you know, for our annual action plans, to cover 6 bid overages in community development block grants. Can somebody give me the details of that, please?
Okay.
Tuesday Redmond Community Development. These overages are from when Wayne County took over the process of an RFP. And with the COVID and the uprise in materials, the communities that were awarded CDBG funds the bids came back higher. With the delay of being able to do and work on these projects, that's also caused the overage to be higher. So we're doing assessments of funds that are available in previous years, and we have these funds that have to be accounted for and spent down by the middle of September the 30th. So because we received the overage, these were funds that Wayne County had back from 2015 that were not part of what the community had received, but the portion that Wayne County had received, and nothing was allocated. So we decided to move it towards these overage.
Okay, so, all right, that sounds good. But we're seeing all over with public dollars, roads, costs going up, so public dollars goes
Yes.
a lot.
Well,
Doesn't go quite as far. Is this also the dynamic you're seeing with your CBDG?
yes,
That construction costs, wood, all of that kind of stuff is
all
going
that
up?
stuff is going up. And so we're also, each year, because this is a new process over the last couple of years. So we're adding more things that we're providing. We're asking the community to provide with their bids, with their RFP requests, so that we can have also a better accurate of what the cost is going to be when we go to award these projects.
Do you have any way to estimate, like on a percentage basis, how do I say this? How much our dollars are being squeezed? I mean, are we being able to do 10% less work with our money, 20% less work with our money?
We're able to do a little bit larger, on a larger size as far as project. We previously, the communities were allocated a certain percentage of funds, and everyone wasn't doing bigger projects. We're doing larger projects now with their RFP.
I don't think that's what I'm getting at. And I'll just maybe just by illustration, with CBDG dollars that we had 5 years ago, let's say we could build 10 houses. How many houses can we buy for the same amount of money now? That's what I'm getting at. How much are we not being able to do because of rising costs?
Well, I can't say how much if, as far as a house.
No, I'm just.
Yeah, in general, it depends on what the project is going to be, you know, versus streets, whether it's rehab, whether it's, public service. Well, public service, that's a set of percentage that we have to do, which is only 15%. We can't go higher than 15%. So we have to account for that. So we're just trying to, see where we are with the RFPs, how many different projects can we do for the communities, and communities has so far have accepted what's been going on.
But suffice to say, the money doesn't go as far as it used to.
If you're talking about spreading it across 34 communities, no.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Commissioner Dobb?
Thank you, Madam Chair. We discussed this a little bit in committee, but how are you fine tuning the program so that this doesn't happen again, so that the communities that submit projects through the CDBG program aren't going over and coming back and asking for more money? Because I know that it's not really fair to communities that, stayed within their budget, or the other communities that do need funds. So how are you?
Well, we're asking the communities to do a little bit more due diligence and coming up with a cost estimate as far as, what they think that project is going to cost. We're also adding that, if you come in with a project, the project really needs to be almost shovel ready. So the communities have to do a little bit more due diligence on their end. Just, sometimes it feels like it's, okay, here, I want $100,000 to do a part, but there's nothing there to, well, what's the budget? What do you think the budget is really going to be for this? And cost has went up tremendously.
Okay. Is there any, anyone on our side that is looking at, when they submit the project and they say, I want $100,000 for a park, and we look at, what are we vetting that to say that these costs match what is an actual reality?
Because
they match what is,
yeah,
what we would do if we were building a park.
Right. We're also trying to get we do bids out as far as what it costs to do a park or any of the projects that we have, what the cost may be, whether it's demolition, and we have to include asbestos and all that information as well. So we're also doing a little, due diligence on, getting a handle on what the real cost is.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Commissioner Basham?
Thank you, Madam Chair. As I look at the numbers here, we're talking about basically, we're going to vote on something that's already retroactive, correct?
Yes.
And the role of the Wayne County Commission is to actually vet it before it comes to us, and then we are actually a part of this. When the administration starts, I'm going to be the skunk at the picnic here and say, ignoring the commission, we're not after the fact. We're not going to just approve it because somebody from the administration says, well, I justify this because of this. That means that we're not doing our job. And our job, whether you like it or not, is to vote on this before it's retroactive, not after it's retroactive. So don't assume, and I'm not speaking to you specifically,
I understand.
but don't assume, administration, that I'm going to go along and support these things after you've already spent the money and then expect me to just go along with the program. And so I'm going to reluctantly, very reluctantly, support it this time, but I'm sending a message to the administration that we are part of this process also. Not one, but 15 commissioners play an important role in this county too. So don't assume, anybody from the administration, that we're going to continue to support this stuff after the fact. Thank you.
Like that.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Hados, then Commissioner Baker McCormick.
Thank you, Madam the Chair. I'd like to address a couple items. In the past, we used to have way to divide the money from HUD to all the community. And we faced problems for many years. Some of the community have a problem spending the money in timely manner. And we was at risk to lose some of the funding with HUD because when you don't spend all the money, whatever you spend less, 10%, 15, whatever it is, then they cut your allocation by that percentage. So Wayne County decided to study and see how can we prevent that. And then the county changed the way how we spend the money by not limiting the community to receive a small amount, which it's not enough to do projects. So the county decided to tell all the communities, submit your project. I give you example. Van Buren used to receive less than $100,000, way less. And last 2 years, they have a project for $500,000. We did that for Van Buren, and they know we're going to bypass them for next few years till we give chance to all the community to submit a project. They can't afford to do it with the old money. Now they have enough to do the project. So it's working. We don't have any money at risk to not be spent in timely manner. So the new system working very well. And we, look into what Commissioner Dobb have a concern about community, have a project this year and have another one. That it's not going to be the case. We're going to go around till everybody get their fair share, unless their emergency situation with issue of safety, then that would be viewed by the board of CDBG and the commission and decide on that.
Thank you, Commissioner. I appreciate that. Commissioner Baker McCormick.
And I just wanted to clarify, did you say that the overages were up to 15% over?
The overages from 2015 funds. And we received a letter from HUD.
No, I meant the bids. How much over did the
Oh,
bids go?
I'm sorry, I apologize, but we didn't do that calculation as far as what the percentage was over the bid, because it was like six different communities. The 15%, I was just kind of given a breakdown of what we are allowed to spend for public service. That's where the 15% came from.
Okay.
That all the communities automatically get.
So you don't have a figure as to how much over the original bids that
I'd
each
say
community went?
for off the top of my head,
Yes.
of I believe Flat Rock, I believe it was for regarding a bridge. And so the overage that we gave them was $270,000. For the other communities, there was like 45,000, 90,000, and then there, I believe Allen Park was 200,000. And I believe that might have been for Park.
So some of these communities is a significant amount.
And then
over,
some are not.
and some are not.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And also I wanted to say that what is the funds, the funds are still available. We have not started any project yet until it has been approved by commission. So we haven't signed any contract as far as, they can give them anything that they can go ahead and start before this has been approved.
Commissioner Anderson?
I would just like to agree, say publicly, I agree with my colleague, Commissioner Masham. And I think what you just said, ma'am, sort of addresses that, but I wanted to make sure that I'm on record as saying that I really don't want to see the commission being bypassed. And you're saying that we were not on this, but this, it sounds like it was a retroactive.
Well, and I may have misspoke. The funds are still available. The contract for, say, 2020 funds that's going to be connected to the 2015 funds. No project has started, so no one has received anything, has not gotten paid. But these funds are still available. After September, they won't be available.
So these projects, though, were already approved by the commission originally at the earlier, the lower amount, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So I would just like to ask our attorney to take a look at it, see if we need to make any changes in the process, because we should not be bypassing the commission if these increases come about. And I think you're saying that they haven't yet because you haven't paid anything. But we need to make sure we have a clear delineation of our responsibilities versus before any money is spent.
Yes, we were informed we had to go back before commission, and that's why we're here today.
Thank you.
Do you want council to respond at all?
She'd like to. Thank you.
Through the chair to this honorable body. As I mentioned in committee, we had great discussion with the department, and it took a while to figure out how to present this to the body. It's our understanding that there may be other projects that the commission has approved that were, I'm gonna say, under budgeted by the communities, and they may need additional funds for. So we are in discussions and planning to meet with the department to figure out how to address any potential projects that are already outstanding, and then to discuss some items moving forward, because we did discover that we don't have a full understanding of the program and how it's currently running. So before you receive the plan for 2022, we have already indicated that we would meet with the department to make sure we have a clear understanding and try to streamline the process moving forward.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. That's exactly what I was looking for. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much. Thank you, Commissioner Killeen.
Madam Chair, and I have a question for Commission Counsel then, because the word retroactive keeps coming up here. And as you discussed, there was a great discussion about how to present this to this body. Is this retroactive in the same sense that we commonly use it in? That
No, it's not. As indicated, it's our understanding that while the commission did approve these projects initially, I believe in 2020 and maybe 2021, they were for a certain amount. They're now seeking to add funds. It's our understanding the contracts have not been let for this and work has not started. So no, we would not consider this to be retroactive at this point.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. And I'll just say that, reiterate what council said. The commission did approve the projects. This particular item is not retroactive. The products were approved by this board. The communities underbidded the cost of the project. That's why we're recommending additional funds, which are coming to this body for approval. So for this particular item, it did go through the proper channels and was not let prior to commission approval. Any further discussion or questions? Okay, hearing none. I'm sorry, did we get a motion? We got a motion for the report? Okay, please vote. Thank you.
Carries.
Thank you so much. Next item.
Here on Report D from the Committee on Public Services, there are 4 items listed on pages 3 and 4 of the agenda.
Commissioner Marecki?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd like to move approval for items 1 through 4.
Support. Moved and supported. Any discussion on the Public Services Report? Commissioner Baker McCormick.
Thank you, Madam Chair. West 6 Mile between Telegraph and Grand River. Some time ago, I had asked about having a study done on
I'm sorry, Commissioner, which item are you speaking to?
It actually is not an item on here.
Oh.
But it is an item of concern that still has not been addressed. So just wanted to see if anyone from the administration could either elaborate or
You want to know if a study was done on 6 Mile?
On West 6 Mile. It was told to me that it would be done and I would hear back, but I have not heard back anything.
Eddie, you want to take that just, yeah.
I am not aware of that. I will connect with Andy and we'll get an answer to you after today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any discussion on the Public Services Report? Hearing none, please vote.
Motion carries.
Next item.
Here on Report C from the Committee on Ways and Means, there are 7 items listed on pages 4 through 6 of the agenda.
Okay, we'll defer to Vice Chair Pro Tem Baidoon for this report.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move item 1 to receive and file and items 2 through 7 for approval.
Moved and supported. Any discussion on Ways and Means? Discussion on the items on Ways and Means? Hearing none, please vote.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Next item, please.
We're moving to Report D from the Committee on Health and Human Services. There are 2 items listed.
Commissioner Baker McCormick.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move approval of item number 1 and 2.
Okay, moved and supported, items 1 and 2. Any discussion on either one of those? Commissioner Marecki.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Clerk, I'd like to abstain on item number 1.
Duly noted. Questions on Health and Human Services? Hearing none, please vote.
Motion carries and have Commissioner Marecki as an abstention on item number 1.
Next item, please.
We're on page 7 of the agenda, Report E from the Committee on Public Safety, Judiciary, and Homeland Security. There are 2 items listed.
Commissioner Clark Holman.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd like to move approval of item 1 and 2.
Moved and supported. Any discussion on the 2 items on public safety? Mr. Anderson.
Thank you. I just wanted to ask a quick question about item number 1. It's a contract with Motorola. And is there anyone here from the administration that would be able to address? I'm assuming that nothing in this proposal as far as upgrades and any other related item for down the road, that everything has to go through Motorola, that there's nothing that's open source.
Through the chair, Samaya.
Probably on. Samaya is probably on.
Yes. Good morning. Can
There
you
she is.
hear me?
Go ahead, Samaya.
Okay, good morning. This is, this contract is for the new CJC for the dispatch center. They're purchasing the equipment and they're building the dispatch center at this new CJC. Did I answer your question, sir?
Not exactly. I was just asking if, I understand it's Motorola and I understand what it's for, but I'm asking, is there anything that precludes us from using any outside source down the road as far as updates or maintenance or upgrades in the future? But I see that part of that is built into this price, but what happens once that contract is over? Is it anything open source that we could hire another company to do, or are we locked into Motorola perpetuity?
We're locked in with Motorola for the dispatch center, yes.
And I realize, and I've mentioned this before, I realize that there's some companies that have a lock on things, and Motorola is probably one of the prime examples that they lock in everything, that you cannot go to anyone after you do business with them. And I don't know if it's something I would hope that when we bid something out that we look at to see if there's anyone offering that alternative, that we are not locked into them forever. But anyway, that's all. Thank you.
Thank you. And I will look into that too.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Kniezek.
Thanks, Madam Chair. We all have our lane and things we like to ask, right? Raise a skunk, and I just get really annoyed when we're sending Wayne County taxpayer dollars to other counties and other states. So I was just wondering if somebody could talk about why we couldn't find a single Chevrolet dealership in Wayne County to spend $514,000 on 23 sedans for the sheriff's office. I really find that hard to believe. So I was wondering if somebody could comment on why we're spending money in Kent County and not in Wayne County.
Through the chair, we usually, for that kind of purchase, we usually go to My Deal, or we can go to a co-op that commission already approved. That's why with this one, we went through.
Maybe let me call on. Oh, it's done.
Go ahead, Samaya.
Okay, so with this one, we went through Oakland County contracts to be able to get the best price for those 23 Malibus.
So of course, in the same breath, right, we want to be responsible stewards of taxpayer dollars. So I appreciate looking for the best price. I think it's on our agenda today too, that we're talking about supporting a state law or legislation that wants to give Michigan vendors the opportunity to meet or beat the bids that are placed by out-of-state vendors. What do we do, or what could we be doing here in Wayne County to offer that same opportunity to businesses and residents in our county to meet or beat the deals or the prices that we're getting from out of county? Again, I appreciate everybody's hard work here. I hope folks don't feel like I'm beating up on them personally. It's just a desire to keep our taxpayer dollars in our county and supporting our county businesses. And in this case, supporting our law enforcement brothers and sisters by supporting their businesses here in Wayne County as well. What options do we have? And maybe if that's an appropriate conversation for outside of this meeting, I'm happy to take it there. But if you wanted to talk about that or respond to that, I would appreciate it.
I thank you, Commissioner. just to be, I can put a list together of how many times for the vehicles we've used Wayne County dealers. For this one, for this particular one, we had a different vendor that we went through. And for the last minute, before even the contract was approved, they turned us down. They said, we cannot build those vehicles that you want. You have to go to a different vendor. So we had to go and look for like I said, for the best price. And I have no issue with sitting down with you and working with procurement to identify vendors within Wayne County so that we'll be able to be used and they can beat the prices that we have.
I'll just wrap up first by saying, Madam Chair, thanks for the latitude and having some dialogue here. And then just another thanks to Sumaya for her great work in this space continually. Again, I hope you don't think it's personal. And since you also are my boss and live in my district, we'll find some time for coffee and put our heads together here. So I appreciate it.
Sounds great. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Commissioner Baker McCormick. To that point, Commissioner?
Yeah, to that point, yes. I'd like for Sumaya to explain the My Deal process and why we go through that My Deal process.
Sure, we'll take some latitude. Sumaya, you want to just talk about that or?
Absolutely, I can
do it. Go ahead.
My Deal is the state approves, the bids go to the states and the state approves the contract statewide. And then we usually go to the My Deal and get the best prices and all the T's are crossed and the I's are dotted by the state. So we don't have to do any of that work. With this particular vendor, we did not go to My Deal. We went to another, it's similar to My Deal. We went to Oakland County, America. This is procurement submits a list of approved contracts and commission approves it. And that's one of them, just to get the better price. With My Deal, they do all the legwork, so we don't have to. So we don't have to put out a request for proposal or invitation for bid. All that is being done through the state, and we piggyback off of their contracts.
Yeah, I think that was beneficial to those on Zoom and to the audience to understand how My Deal works or Oakland County America, just for the benefit of why and how we do that. So thank you, Sumaya.
Thank you.
Commissioner Baker McCormick.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Sumaya, I think we talked about this same contractor vendor 2 years ago. And I believe you also mentioned that they specialized in this, or there was some specialty, and that's why we continue to work with them.
You're absolutely right. This particular one, they do install the lights and sirens for the vehicles, for the police vehicles, the police package. So at one point, I want to say a couple of years ago, we used to come into commission and ask for the vehicles. And then we ask another contract for the company to build, to install the lights and the sirens. And now we're just packaging it all together. You're absolutely right, Commissioner. So that was one of the benefits to using this vendor as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any additional questions on the public safety report? Okay, hearing none, please vote.
On both.
Carries, and I have Vice Chair Palomera as an abstention on items 1 and 2.
Next item, please.
We're moving to the Committee on Government Operations report. There are 9 items listed on pages 8 and 9 of the agenda.
Thank you, Commissioner Dobb.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I have a couple of public hearings that I need to hold. So I'd like to move to open a public hearing on item number 3.
Let me ask Council. Council, do we have to do all of the public hearings separately or can we do them together?
No, we can do them together.
Oh, we can do them together. Okay, great. I'd like to move to open a public hearing on items number 3, 5, and 6.
Yes, moved and supported. Open public hearing on 3, 5, and 6. Moved and supported. Please vote to open the public hearing.
Motion carries.
Okay, you want to take those, Commissioner Dodd?
Yes, so the number 3 is an ordinance to amend chapter 177 of the Wayne County Code of Ordinances for the Wayne County Women's Commission. And it's just to clarify the election date of the chairperson and the vice chairperson. Do we want to do public comments or on each?
Describe them
one?
all and then we'll go to.
Okay.
public comments.
Number 5 is a resolution to amend the Wayne County Art Institute Authority Articles of Incorporation. And 6 is to amend a resolution to amend the Wayne County Zoological Authority Articles of Incorporation.
Is there anyone from the public who would like to speak to these 3 items? One on Zoom.
Yeah, my name is Steve Penton from Detroit. I'd like to talk about the Art Institute Authority Articles of Incorporation.
You have 2 minutes, sir. Go ahead. You can time.
Thank you. I understand that this removing what is basically a conflict of interest clause. I'm conscious that removing that conflict of interest clause allows compliance, but it does not remove the possibility for conflicts of interest. I assume that the reason for doing this is to allow the Wayne County Art Institute Authority to appoint 2 voting members to serve on the DIA's board of directors. I'd suggest the correct way to do this is in the service agreement in clause 2.3 on government, where it says shall have the right to appoint 2 voting members of the board to serve on the DIA's board of directors. That should be changed to be 2 Wayne County residents. That way you can get representation on the board of the DIA without weakening the possibility for conflict of interest. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Anyone else like to provide public comments on either of these 3 issues? Anyone on Zoom, on the telephone, or in the chambers? Okay, is there a motion to close public hearing?
So move.
Don't.
I assume a public hearing, you're not including commissioners, but.
Not commissioners. We'll come back for discussion. Okay. If there's motion to close public hearing and support, all in favor, please vote.
Carries.
Turn it back over to Commissioner Dodd for the report on government operations.
And I would like to move the entire report for approval.
Been moved, there's support.
Support.
Moved and supported to move the entire report on government operations. Discussion, Commissioner Anderson. Did you have a?
I did on 5 and 6.
Go ahead.
Just a quick explanation of what these 2 resolutions would accomplish and what's the necessity.
Articles of incorporation have 3.
Anyway, I'll make sure they don't get in trouble. Go ahead.
Can we mute the Zoom? Okay, thank you. They had 3 conditions on which a member can serve. One is the residency of the county, one was the age of 18, and one said that you could not serve on a governing body of the authority and the bigger board. I'll call it the bigger board. Since the inception, I've been on both boards, the Zoo Authority as well as the zoo, the big board zoo. And I think it's been important for continuity and transparency to know what's going on in Wayne County and then bringing any concerns that I have on the Wayne County Zoological Board to the Detroit Zoological Bigger Board. So taking out that stipulation, the articles that said you cannot be on both, I thought would be good for transparency for the both of the smaller local board and the bigger boards. So that's what this does. It takes out that language in the articles. The DIA, yes. Mhm. Your microphone's not on.
I have some concerns about doing this, but I'll wait and observe the committee meeting on it when it goes to the committee.
All right. Commissioner Baker McCormick?
Can you explain what clarification in the election, what did you clarify in the election of the chair and vice chair for the Women's Commission?
They said May in the original article, they said April or May, and we're making that June.
So the election is now in June?
Correct.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Commissioner Marecki?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd just like to make a comment first before but I serve on the Zoo Authority with the chair, and really what the authority does is okay the tax monies that the tri-counties give to the zoo. I mean, that's basically what we do. So it's pretty cut and dry. And I'd like more explanation on number 2.
I'm sorry, 1 second, please. Okay, if someone has a license plate 5MSW9, 5MSW9, your car is blocking the driveway and possibly could be towed, so please move your vehicle. Okay, I'm sorry, Commissioner Marecki. What kind of car is it? Do we know? We're not sure. Okay, Commissioner Marecki?
Yeah, I would, wondering if someone, or if you could explain number 2 on this, the resolution.
Oh, yes. Thank you. That is a resolution that was brought to me by the several business organizations throughout Michigan. They are supporting a bill, to Commissioner Knizik's point, that would allow Michigan businesses to have preference when contracting for Michigan services and giving businesses an opportunity, a 7 days window to go back. If, let's say, an Illinois company was presented with a bid, they're giving a Michigan company 7 days to go back to maybe reevaluate to see if they could equal that bid process. So it was a way to further engage Michigan businesses for Michigan contracts.
You don't know who the initiator of the bills?
I do not.
All right, thank you.
It was brought to me by the Black Chamber of Commerce. Commissioner Killeen.
Thank you, Madam Chair. On the same item, sounds like a good idea in terms of amendment to the Wayne County procurement ordinance as well, although that's not before us today. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. And it's something that we should actually look at further for us. Absolutely. Further discussion on the GovOps report?
Madam Chair, if you'd like, I'd be happy to answer Commissioner Marecki's question about those 2 bills.
Sure.
So Senate Bill 117 is Senator Ananick, Democrat, and House Bill 4902 is Representative Filler, Republican.
It has bipartisan support.
Correct. I offer that up for no reason in particular.
Thank you. Thank you,
That helps.
Commissioner. Any further discussion on GovOps report? Hearing none, please vote.
Motion carries.
Thank you so much. Next item, please.
You're on page 10 of the agenda, upcoming meetings.
Okay, please note the upcoming meetings for this week, the Women's Commission on Thursday, which where they will be voting for new officers, and then committee meetings on next week. Next item.
New business. There's 1 item listed on the addenda.
Everyone should have an 1-sheet addenda that was passed out.
Item number 1 is requesting commission approval of retroactive amendment number 1 to a cooperative agreement with a 1-year option to renew between the Charter County of Wayne and Guidehouse.
Okay, who's from the administration to speak on this item?
My name is Mamata Bergi, Procurement Director for Wayne County.
You're what director?
Procurement Director.
Oh, hi. Give me your name again.
Mamata Bergi.
Okay.
This amendment is being requested for immediate consideration, primarily because the work that's being done towards keeping compliance for the ARPA funds tracking. The contract itself expires it did expire on the 2nd of June. Our intention was to bring it before the committees and the commission in time. However, due to delays because of staff shortages, we missed a couple of deadlines and are here today to request approval.
Okay, this is 1-year option to June 2nd of 2023. All of the funding remains the same.
That's correct. Yes.
Questions to our new procurement director?
Move approval, Madam Chair.
I'll support. Moved and supported. Again, are there any questions on this item? Commissioner Anderson.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just wanted to ask about the Michigan Association of Counties CoPro Cooperative. What does that organization or that body, what do they do for the county in this instance?
The cooperative, as was discussed a little bit earlier, these entities competitively solicit large, really broad-based scopes of work on behalf of many member entities. And their competitive solicitation allows for us to be more agile and efficient in our procurement process. And so this is one such entity, as are the other entities that are on the approved list of cooperatives.
Are they compensated?
We do pay a membership fee annually, but it is well worth I'm not exactly sure. I do know that for the My Deal contract, it is like a couple of $100. And so the benefits that we gain in terms of efficiency and speed far outweigh the annual membership costs.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Any additional questions on this item? Hearing none, please vote.
Thank you.
Motion carries, and I have Commissioner Palomera as an abstention.
Next item, please.
On testimonial resolutions and certificates of appreciation, there are 15 items listed on pages 10 and 11 of the agenda.
Okay, this past weekend, our youth council had their end of year ceremony, which was very well attended and nicely done. I was not able to attend myself personally, but I saw pictures and it looked like it was awesome. So again, we want to congratulate those wonderful youth who took time out of their busy school life to work on the Wayne County Commission's Youth Council. And thank Commissioner Baker McCormick for her leadership with that. Is there a motion for the testimonies and certificates? Okay, moved and supported. Any further conversation, discussion? Hearing none, please vote.
Motion carries.
Thank you so much. Next item.
We're on page 12 of the agenda, memoriams. There are 4 names listed.
Okay, we certainly want to keep Darcel Brown in our prayers in the passing of his father. Services will begin Wednesday for viewing and services on Thursday. We did provide a floral arrangement, and there is a resolution, a memoriam by all commissioners that will also be presented to the family. Commissioner Kling had a hand up.
Yeah, thank you, Madam Chair. I wanted to add the name of Paul Taranis, a former Third Circuit Court judge. Well known as an outstanding jurist, but also for his work in the community. So I want Teranes. Paul, thank you, Madam Chair.
Commissioner Hados?
Thank you, Madam the Chair. I'd like to add the name of David Carpenter. He owned insurance agency in the city of Wayne, but he was famous being the Santa Claus every year in the parade and received the key to the city. We lost him last week, and we offer our sympathy to his family.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Irma Clark Coleman.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd like to speak on the passing of William Lucas. I don't know if many of you know it, but I worked for Bill Lucas. As an administrator, I was the director of communications for Bill Lucas for 3.5 years. I don't think anyone here knows him as well as I do. In that I worked very closely with him. He was certainly a man of discipline, but education to him was really important. 3 of his 5 children were our physicians. One, Bill Lucas Jr. is a ophthalmologist. His daughter, Stephanie, is a endocrinologist, and his other daughter, Peg Lucas, is a dentist. He felt very deeply that if you were going to achieve anything in this world, you would have to really get a good education. So he put a lot of emphasis on there and on that particular area. In addition to that, he was a very personable person. While working for him and observing him, I did my master's thesis on the image of Bill Lucas. And so therefore, I just felt like I needed to speak out because I don't really feel that anyone here or otherwise knows Bill Lucas as I did because I worked very closely with him as his media relations manager. And he was a gentleman. He was courteous, and he certainly was he was penned Cool Head Luke, and there's a reason for that. I've probably only seen him one time lose his temper. Most folks haven't, but he was always cool, calm, and collected. Nothing rattled him. So I just wanted to make a few comments on the fact that he was a man of integrity. I don't think that there was any scandal during the whole time that he worked with him. I just had one problem with him. He switched from a Democrat to Republican. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Commissioner. So sorry about your personal loss with Mr. Lucas. Commissioner Scott.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I could say ditto to some of that. I met Mr. Lucas when I was a commissioner a few years ago. And I did speak to his son, Rick Lucas, since his dad passed. And now he was a Detroit police officer and a photographer. But as Irma said, it was education, he and his wife, and of course, she passed away just recently. But anyway, my prayers go out to this family because they were a wonderful family that cared about education for everyone. So thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Commissioner. Any additional remarks on memoriams? Typically, we will have the memorials read aloud for a commissioner that passed, But since Mr. Lucas was again our very first county executive, I'd ask Pam to read into the record the memoriam that we prepared for him.
William Lucas, for we know that if our earthly house of this tabernacle were dissolved, we have a building of God, a house not made with hands, eternal in the heavens. 2 Corinthians 5:1. Whereas it is with great sadness that we, the members of the Wayne County Commission, solemnly pause and reflect on the life of William Lucas, longtime Wayne County Sheriff and the first Wayne County Executive, who passed away May 30th, 2022 at age 93. And whereas William Lucas was born July 25th, 1928 in Harlem to West Indian immigrant parents who died while he was young, leaving him to be raised by an aunt, and became a star athlete at Morris High School in the Bronx. And whereas William Lucas received an athletic scholarship to Manhattan College, where he graduated with honors and became the first member of his family to earn a college degree. And whereas William Lucas joined the New York City Police Department in 1953 after previously serving as a social worker and attended night school at Fordham University, from which he received his law degree. And whereas William Lucas joined the U.S. Justice Department at the invitation of U.S. Attorney General Robert F. Kennedy, serving for 2 years in the Civil Rights Division, and subsequently joined the Federal Bureau of Investigation before accepting a position as Wayne County Undersheriff in 1967. And whereas William Lucas became sheriff in 1970, becoming the first African-American to hold the position, and served through 1982 when he was elected the first county CEO and ran for governor in 1986. And whereas William Lucas met his late wife Evelyn while they were attending high school in New York City, and the couple was blessed with 5 children, 3 of whom became medical professionals. Therefore, be it resolved that this resolution endure as a lasting record of acknowledgement as the Wayne County Commission proudly recognizes the historic and inspirational life lived so graciously by William Lucas, and that a suitable copy be presented to his beloved family.
Thank you so much, Pam, for reading that into the record for me. Additionally, Eddie Fitchcourt, do you have something? He has something to read on behalf of our current executive, Mr. Warren Evans.
Chairwoman, apologies that Mr. Evans and our Chief of Staff, Asad Turfi, are not here to do this personally. They were planning to, they had an abrupt change of their schedule. So it's my honor to present this proclamation to a gentleman that I have been educated and learned a lot about his impact in our county. I won't spend the time to go through and read it, but this proclamation is being presented on behalf of Mr. Evans and our Chief of Staff, Mr. Turfi, and the administration, to pay respects to the Lucas family. So we will, through the commission, ensure that the family receives it along with the gift that's coming from the commission as well. So thank you for giving us the opportunity to share that.
Thank you, Eddie. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. At this time, if we could please everyone stand for a moment of silence.
A man is a man. Don't say they was young and beautiful.
Thank you. And let us also remember all of those that we've lost to gun violence over the last several weekends. I think we've met since the unconscionable shooting in Texas or Buffalo or Philadelphia or Grand Rapids or Detroit. So let's just please keep all of those families that will be forever changed by gun violence in this country. Next item, please.
Public comments.
Is anyone in the chambers first who would like to make public comments? Anyone in the chambers? Seeing no one in the chambers, anyone on Zoom or on the telephone? I see one hand. ICAPA, ICAPA.
Good morning.
ahead.
Commissioner.
2
Yes,
minutes.
Good morning. I attended the town hall meeting on Wayne County government last month. Thank you, Commissioners Bell and Dobb, for the opportunity to learn more about the process. I found it very informative, specifically the reference to what was called the Great Resignation. As a constituent, it was concerning to hear that post-pandemic, all Wayne County departments are still down by a third of their staff, from 3,000 to 2,000 employees. It was noted this is significantly inhibiting expedient and efficient services for all our citizens. I am not aware that this has been specifically discussed in full commission meetings. It would be helpful to hear further steps your commission is currently taking to lend your support and ensure this issue is rectified as soon as possible. It was also expressed by current government representatives that attended the town hall that this shortage is creating additional challenges for Wayne County government and its citizens, preventing us from moving forward. Thank you for your consideration in regards to this concern.
Thank you so much. Ms. Buffington?
Good morning, and thank you for your audience. First, I'd like to give condolences to all that have had losses that were given memoriams today. I'd like to give my personal testimony to Judge Taranis. I clerked for him as a court clerk for 7 years between him and his regular clerk, Tracy Gilbert. That is a great and tremendous loss to lose Judge Taranis. He was a fair judge. He was deprived of his sight, but he also was very, very apt to the law and very fair to a lot of individuals. Also, Bill Lucas, I clerked for him for over 12 years when he was on the 12th floor before the probate courts took over the initial floor. He was a great gentleman. He was close to my mother, Linnell Buffington. He reached out to me in her demise in 2019. Bill Lucas walked the stairs of the city county building until he was 76 years old, from the first floor to the 12th floor daily without losing his breath. He was in excellent condition. And in regards to education, he wrote a recommendation for my son, Stephen Lewis, in regards to his schooling. Bill Lucas would be proud to hear that when I was pregnant and at his retirement, I was impregnated with my younger daughter that is now graduating from University High School, summa cum laude and salutatorian, that he would be proud that, as they said, he loved education and she is representing, and we will see as Local 1659 if we can do something in regards to his name for some type of scholarship for our employees under Bill Lucas's name, under our youth council for ASME 1659. It is a great loss. Thank you all for your time.
Thank you, Ms. Buffington, for those comments. Thank you, ma'am. Mr. Larry Coomer?
Yes, thank you. My name's Larry Coomer. I'm a lifelong resident of Wayne County, and I live in Plymouth Township. I'm here to request that Wayne County Institute Township road matching funds in the 2023 fiscal year budget. I've personally been working with the Plymouth Township and my neighbors for about 5 years to get our roads fixed. It's very frustrating that the fighting for our roads to be fixed, and 100% of the cost of the roads is the responsibility of the residents. The cost of our project was estimated at $2.8 million. That's about $20,000 per household. Way too much, couldn't get it to pass. Wayne County used to have an 80-20 split. If we were to do that again, I'm not sure we could get a 50% approval at $16,000 per household. Macomb County currently has a matching fund. As just a common citizen, it's I would think that there's got to be something in the national infrastructure funding that's going to come through. Should be some money that could trickle down to the townships. And so I'm asking you to please take a leadership role in putting matching funds into the 2023 fiscal year budget. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Any additional public comments on Zoom or on the telephone? Hearing none, and there's no one in the chambers. Okay, Pam, you have a few emails? Go ahead.
First is from Donna Swindersky.
Mic is not on.
The first is from Donna Swindersky. Hello, Wayne County Board of Commissioners. I want to submit a message asking what is that you are gaining and how are you benefiting by ignoring the will of and the expressed concerns of your constituents. This is evident by the fact that we are still in this situation of needing to bring these comments of concern to you all these months later and still requiring resolution rather than submitting comments of praise, kudos, and thankfulness to you for great efforts and outcomes of actions taken. Donna Swindersky. Loretta Yeager. I am Loretta Yeager, a tax-paying resident living in Colony Farm Subdivision, Plymouth Township, Wayne County. I am requesting that you institute 50-50 fund matching in your fiscal 2023 budget to repair the roads in our subdivision. We have been trying to get our roads repaired for 5 years. The cost to repair was $2.8 billion, which is $20 per household. That is too much considering we are tax-paying payers living in Wayne County and the roads in our subdivision are the responsibility of Wayne County. A 50-50 split doesn't seem too much to ask for. Malcolm County has provided 50-50 matching funds for their residents. I have been a resident here for 45 plus years. Our roads are deteriorating, which affects the value of our homes, especially Colony Farm Drive, which connects to Ann Arbor Road to Joy Road. This road is not only used by our residents, but also by connecting subdivisions, nearby subdivisions, 3 nearby high school drivers, all trying to avoid congested traffic on Beck Road and Ridge Road. The next is from Susan McMahon. My name is Susan McMahon, and I have been a Plymouth Township resident for over 40 years. I am requesting Wayne County to institute matching funds for road repair in 2023 fiscal year budget. We have been working for 5 years to get the roads in our subdivision fixed and are frustrated that 100% of the cost is the responsibility of the residents who are unable to pay the estimated $20,000 per household. We believe there should be funds available in the national infrastructure funding and are asking you to please use your role as Wayne County Executive and Commissioners to include these in the 2023 budget. Thank you for your consideration. Next is from Timothy Riley. Dear Board of Commissioners, I am very concerned about the citizens of Wayne County and our personal liberty to make the healthcare decisions that are best for each of us individually. According to the CDC's Vaccine Adverse Events Reporting System, there have been over 1,250,000 reports of adverse effects following the COVID-19 shots, over 28,500 reports of death, and 53,200 reports of permanent disability. Yet in our county, businesses, the government itself, and universities are seeking to or already have a requirement of their employees and students to get this injection to fully participate in society free from discrimination. The advertising campaigns are shamelessly touting this shot to be safe and effective when the data does not support that claim at all. Remember, there are greater than 28,500 reports of deaths following this injection, according to the CDC's own database. What are you going to do to stand up for the truth, individual liberty, and stop the blatant discrimination? What are you going to do to combat all the lies about the COVID-19 shot? Head into the 2022 election season. The next is from Cindy Simowitz. Good morning, Commissioners. I have a question for you. What would you think if I came to your house and told you what movies you could watch? I also told you what food you can eat, what days you can go to the park. That's not my place to say that to you. My point is that we have freedoms. That's why people have come here to America. I am asking you to stand up for our medical freedoms. That's your freedoms and my freedoms, to be able to choose what is best for us and our families. Have a wonderful day. From Daniel Pangburn. Hello, my name is Daniel Pangburn, and I am a Plymouth Township resident. I am requesting that Wayne County institute township road matching funds in the 2023 fiscal year budget. We have been trying to get our roads fixed for 5 years, frustrated that fighting for our roads to be fixed and 100% of the road cost is the responsibility of the residents. Cost of the project was estimated at $2.8 million or $20,000 per household, way too much on top of taxes already paid to maintain Wayne County roads. Wayne County's old 80-20 cost split would not be enough to get our residents to approve the project. $16,000 is still too much. Macomb County has a matching fund. There must be money accessible in the national infrastructure funding. Please take a leadership role in putting matching funds into the 2023 fiscal year budget for Wayne County roads in Plymouth Township. Mark Zink. I am requesting Wayne County institute township road matching funds in the 2023 year budget. My subdivision, Colony Farm in Plymouth Township, has been trying to get the roads fixed for 5 years. We are frustrated and fighting for our roads to be repaired. We found that the county says 100% of road costs is the responsibility of residents. That would be fine if it was private road, but it is not. We have much through traffic. The cost of our project is estimated to be $2.8 million or $20,000 per household, too much. Even Wayne County's old 80-20 cost split would not be enough to get our residents to approve the project. $16,000 is still too much. Macomb County has a matching fund. I suggest that Wayne County do the same. Thank you for your consideration. That was the last one.
Thank you so much. We do have another speaker on Zoom, Mr. Brown. If you can unmute Mr. Darcel Brown.
Yep. Thank you, Chair Bell and Commissioners. I just wanted to personally say thank you all for your prayers, condolences, and the flowers, as well as the memoriam that were sent on the Commission's behalf. It definitely has been uplifting for me and my family. So I just wanted to tell you all thank you again. Thank you, Chair Bell.
Thank you so much, Darcel, and know that we are keeping you and your family in our prayers. Thank you for zooming in. We'll see you soon. Thank you, Darcel. Okay. No other public comments? Next item, please.
Reconsiderations.
There are none. Next item.
Remarks by members.
Are there any remarks by members? Commissioner Basham, then Commissioner Marecki.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I don't know if everybody's aware, but we used to have 18 auditors for Wayne County. And the auditors are supposed to actually come in and audit each department every 2 years. We've got things going on in Wayne County like employees in certain departments, and I don't even know their names as chair of audit or what their business was. But they're supposedly buying generators and selling generators and chainsaws, and it's not